Good evening, guys. And I can tell you, if you're not feeling all that well, Macaulay Langstaff is not a name you want to be bothering you at that time. And we have played through the transfer window. The transfer window has finished. Nothing happened. They did try to sign someone, but nothing happened. It just died. And unfortunately, we couldn't get rid of Macaulay Langstaff either. Good evening, Stephen. And so, if we just have a quick look, we did try to sign Roberto Fernandez. He's a left back. Tried to sign him on a free transfer. I put a bid in for him early morning on transfer deadline day, and he's just still considering his contract, which means that the game's decided he's not coming in for this transfer window. So we cannot sign him. I don't know if because he is currently at Bolivia, I don't know if there's some sort of clause that would mean that he can come straight into our squad. But I think in England, once the transfer window is done, it's done. Doesn't matter what is happening in their own transfer window, it's done. So even if he accepts, he's not coming in until the summer. Decent enough player, I think. 4-star potential, probably do a good job for next season. But it still leaves us short in terms of the squad. But I have brought in a couple of players from the youth setup, and one of them is on the bench today. I brought in Pietri Comuzzo from the youth setup. He's not been doing all that well. I suspect that that's because he is... Hey, Theodore, how are you doing, my friend? I suspect because he's just not been playing. But he does have good passing. He can tackle. I mean, he might be able to do. He is a natural centre mid on support, so he might develop. Who knows? So brought him on into the side. We've also brought in Brad McGregor, who is currently injured. He's going to be out for another 4 weeks. He's also a central midfielder. Can play at left back in a desperate hurry. He's also got 4-star potential, 20 years old. He might develop. He's doing a lot better, but unfortunately he's got himself injured, which is not very nice. And then we brought in Simon Loeb, who is a right back, can also play as a left back. 2-star ability at the moment. He can cross the ball, just lacks pace. He's not great. And... we'll see how he goes if and when we have to call on these young players. It's very difficult to put a bench together at the moment because we have had 2 injuries since you were last here. Jace Fitzgerald has now got himself injured. It's going to be a big miss, and he's going to be out for 5 weeks possibly. And Calabresi is suspended and probably going to be out for 3 games. And, of course, Peart Harris is already out, and he's going to be out for about 4 weeks. I just hope we can get some points from what is going to happen today. The way I'm going to play is to continue this is how we play. And, of course, we will make changes if we are not winning the game. We'll make some changes, see if we can influence it. I don't think we have any influence at the moment. But we'll just start with the way that we play, with the best team that we have. And we'll see how many points we get out of today. What I'm going to do, I think, is set it to extended highlights. Key highlights is... it's quite weird, key highlights. And one of the problems with key highlights is that highlights... themselves, you only actually see your own highlights. You see 1 or 2 of the opposition highlights, and that means that they're going to score every time from their own highlights. Hey, DA! they will score from their own highlights. We'll have 10 highlights and score maybe 1 or 2, and it does have that imbalance when you're in key highlights. So let's switch to extended highlights. Let's see if there is a little bit more of a balance. Jamie Bowden in for Cornes. McAllister, no, I'm going with the team that I want. Actually, might not be a bad idea to do that. Jamie Bowden in for Corness. Give Corness a rest against Sheffield United. McAllister can then come in for Bowden, Kane Wilson. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. We don't want to go cautious. And I think we'll just leave it at that. So he was Kane Wilson in here. Then Bowden can come down here for Corness. I think that's probably a good plan. I kind of like that. And then McAllister in for Corness. Yeah, that probably works for me. Just got to check Gibbons. We are lacking now, though, a left back. If we do that, we're going to lack a left back. So let's just actually put that back. Because if something happens, this is the problem with the... if something happens to the left back, then we won't have any... The right back, we won't have anybody to replace him. And that's why I'd set them up this way. Was because that if something happened to McAllister, or like he has a 6.2, I have Wilson to come on. But if I put McAllister in midfield and Wilson then decides to have a 6.1 or gets injured, I've got no cover. So that's why I've chosen to do that. I'm going to let the assistant do the... Although what I might do is just look at their midfield, because that's where they're possibly dangerous. They're not very fit. Match sharpness is not very good in their midfield. Interesting. He's a very, very good player. This boy might be playing, so might be wise to tight mark him. Decore obviously is a very good player. Tight mark him and left foot. Left foot and Rudoni. I think we'll just close him down. I don't think we want to hard tackle him, do we? Yes, we do. Good spot by the assistant. Let's go and... what did I click there? I thought I had clicked Ask Assistant. I think it is a thin, bare squad. But we'll just do our best. We're doing extremely well, and all we can do is do our best. The team are quite merry. They're quite in good spirits, and who knows? Let's turn the sound off. And we'll see what happens. I don't think we're going to get hammered. Sheffield United are a very, very good team. I don't think we're going to get hammered. A 2 or 3-1 is not a bad result for this team. I just hope that we can get 6 points out of today, just to keep us in mid-table. That will be extremely good. If we finish in mid-table, when we were predicted to finish 23rd, I think we'll have done very, very well. And well done. Took the ball off him. And anything that we get above a defeat today, I'll be very, very impressed with this team. A defeat is what I'm expecting. Anything we get above a defeat, a draw, or a... Come on. Well done. Or a victory will be very, very pleasing. Oh, who's that? Van Hooijdonk took a deflection, did it? So it's gone out for a corner. Oh my goodness me, the stress of managing Notts County, horrific. The stress of managing Langstaff. He's like, he just will not go away from me. I tried to get rid of him last year, tried to get rid of him this year. He's just not leaving. And still around. But he's going to have to be happy on the bench until Van Hooijdonk gets injured. Penny, what can we do here? What can we do? Was it saved? I thought that had gone in, but it was saved. Well, we're putting a little bit of pressure on Sheffield United, but you've got to score these. You can't You can't not score them and expect, as soon as Sheffield United have a highlight, they'll score. But that's a poor pass, and Penny should be able to pick that up quite easily. He's on an attack duty, and we need to be careful with that attack duty. But at the moment, this winger is not causing too much problem. The minute we start to see that he's getting in behind Penny, oh, that's a poor pass. Like now, Penny's caught up the field. But that was a dreadful pass, whoever that was. Penalty, is it? Nope. A problem with penalties as well is that you don't get to actually, like, it doesn't look like a penalty. So whenever somebody tackles in the box and it looks like a tackle, you think it's going to be a penalty. And they need to, sort that out a little bit. Penalty it has a deliberate, a penalty look to it, not a stand there and do nothing look to it. And they are, Sheffield United, coming back into the game now. We had a good start, but we've let them come back into the game, and that's gone out for a corner. We are not great at set pieces, and something I possibly do need to focus on is set pieces. I'm just looking at my forwards again, who are suddenly on 6.5s. And it's like I say, if you don't take your chances against these teams. But we are seeing highlights now. When you're out of key highlights, you will see highlights for the opposition. So we're seeing highlights and they're missing. So that's good. So at least we're seeing highlights from extended highlights. I think we're doing okay. So I think we could probably go to key highlights for a little while. I think we are doing okay in this game. We're not very good at set pieces. We don't score from them, and we concede a lot of goals from set pieces as well. I need to find a better set piece coach. At the moment, the one I've got has only got 8 for set pieces, and he's not brilliant. But we have a chance. Collins, come on! What a chance! And somehow we've contrived to miss that again. Come on, boys. Who would manage this team? Drives me nuts. Come on, somebody wallop it in. Come on. I mean, we're not doing too bad. Van Hooijdonk isn't playing very well. Changing his role might be something we consider. Well done, Cornes. Cornes has been a good buy. Cornes, good player. Brought him in very early on. Oh, Palmer's in. That was a terrible shot. That was a dreadful shot. Ah, boy. I think the game is telling me you're not going to win this. That's what it's telling me. It's clearly saying you're not winning this. Ha ha. So you need to do something, I think, to try and get the goal that we need. And let's just be patient. Just be patient. Lovely pass. Penny has always looked dangerous on that left if he can get a cross in. But Kavanagh was terrible there, but he has won the race. They don't look like they have a lot of pace up front, when in fact the report told me that they do. Penny earlier caught up with his man quite comfortably. Kavanagh won the race there against the forward, the striker. They don't look like they've got that much pace. I wonder if I should push the line up. I've got the line slightly lower than normal. Another chance. But we are actually... Most of our chances are from outside the box. I can't push the attacking line up any further. That's as far as it goes. So why are they doing that? Should I go a little bit more disciplined, perhaps? Stop them shooting from... Should I just tell them to calm down? Again, chance. It's not going in for us, though, is it? We've had most of the highlights. I don't know if we've had most of the play. We've had most of the highlights and most of the play. Doesn't mean anything, though. If we just keep a clean sheet, that'll be okay. A draw against Sheffield United would be good, but keeping that clean sheet. They just will attack in a minute and they'll score. If we don't put our chances away, they will score. And I mean, when they pass the ball around like this usually results in a goal as well. It's the longer the highlight, the more chance there is. And here it comes. There it comes. You can read it. Read it like a book. The way they were passing the ball around, you knew it was coming. No, I didn't cross it there, so that's how you know. You know, here it comes. If he'd crossed it, we'd have a chance, but... Oh, FM, you are so annoying. Again, we've had all the game, all the possession. We just can't put the ball in the net. And that's, I suppose, saying you're not good enough for promotion. If you were good enough, you'd be scoring goals. So it's just telling us you're not good enough. And it's the only way that the game can actually do that. There you go. I mean, he's actually put that one out for a throw-in. That's how far he missed that one by. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, let's go to key highlights. We've lost this game, so let's go to key highlights. There is no point in putting myself through torment. Let's go. Let's get on with it. You've already told me, FM, what's happening. So I'll just sit here and have a cup of tea and see it play out now. The second half, I'll just push the line forward. See what happens. 2-0. Oof, good save. Let's do it now. Let's push the line forward. It's the only thing I'm going to do. Oh, what a cruel game this is. I mean, I sometimes wish, if we're not very good, then just show us as not being very good. Don't show us as being the dominant team all the time. This is what really pisses me off. Hey, Arda. This is what really annoys me, is that the game is showing you every single game. It shows you as the better team. It's very rare that you're not the better team. Look at Van Hooijdonk. Very rare that you're not the better team, and it still has you losing. It just makes you look like monkeys. You've not been good enough. And he's like hitting, he's not even on Van Hooijdonk having a shot from 6 yards out, and he didn't even hit the corner flag. Is he that bad? Oh boy. We'll wait until towards the end and then we'll go positive. Try and get this goal back. But that's not going to do it. They're just doing everything they shouldn't do. They're supposed to be doing low crosses, working the ball into the box. They are not. Harder. I'm not quite sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just don't know. Come on, somebody do something. Like a mistake now. It's going to cost us. They will score from this. We don't get away with mistakes. Yeah, and here it comes. Pass it, pass it. There it is. I have been playing this game for far too long. I need to stop playing it, and because I know what's going to happen. It's like I know every single thing that the game is going to do. You can know where the ball is going to go exactly. As soon as you see a highlight for them, you can guarantee they're going to score. Let's go up the tempo. Let's go positive. See if we can't do something. But I didn't expect anything. I don't expect anything at all from this save anymore. I expect us to lose every game. So if we do get some points, then that'll be great. If we don't, then we're not going to get relegated, so I don't care, because we're not getting relegated. Van Hooydonk's on a 6.1 now. Langstaff will have to come on. It's the defence. A goalkeeper again. I'm fed up of him. He's never going to play again. He's just picking on my goalkeepers. And Kane Wilson. There you go. All the defence is absolutely shocking. Alright, that's it. Let's play through. Come on, FM. You've done your stuff now. You've wound me up already. January transfer window has just finished. Don't tell Ben. But I don't. If I sell Van Hooijdonk, I'll only have Langstaff, and that's the last thing I want. It's like, we are not good enough. The team is not good enough, and why we are in 8th, I don't know, or 9th now. I don't know. It shouldn't happen. That's why the game is broke. I mean, we are making dreadful errors. It's making us look like absolute buffoons at the moment. And then in the next game, we'll probably look like Brazil. The game's broken. This is a goal. Oh, it's a penalty. There you go. I knew it was a goal. I can read this like a book. Read it like a book. All right, let's go much more defensive. I don't know if it could be worse, DA. I think we are going to lose every game from here on in. I think that's what the game is telling me, that we're going to lose every game. I mean, we should not be at where we are, and it's going to drag me down the table now. And you've got to accept that the game is painful sometimes. Just got to accept that. And we're going to get blasted here, are we? It's bad enough now. It's 3-0. And we beat Sheffield United last time. It's stupid. It really is stupid. We hammered them. And they were tired coming out onto the pitch. We were fit. They were tired. Played one more game than us. That doesn't matter. They can be absolutely dead, exhausted, and they'll still beat you. It doesn't matter. But if you are anywhere approaching a red heart, your player will play like he's never played football before. But the opposition, they love being exhausted. Let's get this game out of the way. I have to berate them. They're absolutely dreadful. And it just goes to show that we shouldn't change anything, because being more aggressive, being more positive has not helped. We have to play defensive football. Balanced is the most we should ever be. That's how we did it in the first half of the season. But I think in the first half of the season we got the results because I think we couldn't do any transfer business because we didn't bring players in. So the players knew everybody, and that's what the game does. Third goalkeeper. It's possible. I need to do something. But we've got a couple of games coming up that we should win. After Sheffield United, we'll see. I'm going to play Lukic for a while, but Lukic now is on a 6.5. I don't know. I might play my 13-year-old who's in the very, very young throes of his development. I mean, I'll go into the car park and see if there's a 5-year-old who wants to play. You did yourselves proud. What do you mean you did? He's disheartened because I told them off. You were just dreadful. Live with it. You were dreadful. And we are now in 10th. Our dreams of the playoffs are gone. And I don't know why the game has suddenly changed on me. I don't know. We were flying. Everything was looking good, and suddenly the game has just turned on me. But we're going to go on doing what we do, because every time, this was because I changed things. I think I changed the tactic here, the formation, and it just went. Now that was here, changed the formation, put it back, and then we won. And it's just destroying me here. But I'm just going to blast through it. And we'll see how many points we get at the end of the episode. Don't worry about it. Just blast through it. Some games we'll win. It has to let me win some games. The game is just doing what it does. It's trying to annoy me. And it's doing a very good job. It does a very good job of doing that. But let's just blast through the games and we'll see what happens. Stoke, 22nd. We haven't got a prayer. 22nd in the league. We don't have a prayer. We all know that we cannot beat teams who are bottom of the league. I'm not going to do anything different. I'm going to push the line up against weaker teams. That's all I'm going to do, is push the line up. But we all know we can't beat teams who are in the bottom 4. We have beaten 1. We're more used to beating teams in the top 4 than the bottom 4. Not going to worry about Stoke at all. We're just going to get through these games. I want to get to the end of this season. That seems fair. I'm just going to let there's nothing I can do. I will let the assistant do everything. Calabresi, Bowden, McAllister. Yep, we'll go along with that. Bowden, McAllister. Young is absolutely shocking. Jody Jones, why not give him a game? Or actually, Langstaff can come in on the wing. Why not? Loan offers. Can I let him go then? He's accepted them. The skin is work the space skin. TCS work the space. I believe you can get it from FM Scout webpage. It's actually not bad. There's only one thing I don't like about it, and that's in the match day screen, where you have to flick over to a different screen on the tablet to see the league and the current and the other games going on. That's the only thing I don't like about it, because when you flick over to that other screen, you can't see the stats in front of you then. So, but apart from that, it's a pretty good skin. It doesn't slow things down too much. So, yeah, not bad. I think we have to have a team meeting, don't we? We look at this schedule. I think it's time to have a team meeting. This is where it all goes pear-shaped. There isn't a suitable reason. We've lost 5 games on the trot, and you're telling me there's no suitable reason to have a team meeting. I want a team meeting. I'm not allowed. Ah, boy. Why am I not allowed to speak to my team? Why do I have to wait for you to decide when I can speak to my team? He's been granted a work permit. Can we sign him now? I don't think we can sign him now, can we? Well, looks like it. We've signed a player outside of the transfer window. I just swear to goodness this game is broken. How are we allowed to do that? Surely we can't register him. No, we won't be able to register him. Well, it does look like we can. How can we do this outside of the transfer window? The game is broken. That can't happen. Right, who's playing really badly? Who did I have to take off last time? Let's bring Sibuk back to partner. Bohat. I can actually sign a player outside of the transfer window. That is the weirdest thing. Hey Andy, how you doing? I'm better. Not 100%, and I'm not sure it's a good thing doing this tonight. Robert, he needs to come onto the bench then. It's Roberto Fernandez. Penny is not playing very well. In fact, Penny's form is pretty poor. So he needs to come onto the bench. So anyway, we've signed a player outside of the transfer window. Hello, Bethan. How are you doing? And then I guess it only works for someone who isn't contracted to a club. Yeah, we did sign him on a free. Nobody. We did. Yeah. So Langstaff is going to play. He did score in the last game, the consolation goal. So he can have a game. And I hate these games. Teams like who are in 22nd, we can't win this. We just can't win this. We're not allowed. The game will not allow me. This is also true, Andy. Macaulay Langstaff is not fit. Oh boy. Stoke in 22nd in the league. I don't like the fact that I can't, if we lose 5 games and we only win 1 of the last 6, I don't like the fact that the game decides that I can't have a team meeting. That's a very good reason. I mean, of course, the game doesn't want me having a team meeting every week, so I'm just raising morale. But I should be allowed to have it. I've never had a team meeting with them, and I should be allowed to have a team meeting, at least 1 or 2 a season, and not just have to wait for my assistant to say, "Oh, I think it's a good idea to have a team meeting." Here's Hoydong. He's got to have a much better game than last time. Oh, holy, what? That was KC Palmer. I think he needs to ease off the tackles a little bit. Was that my set piece coach coming up with something there? Yes, it was. This game is nuts. It just sometimes makes me cry. Oh boy. We have scored a goal, Andy. Fantastic. We got to move up above 10th. Surely the game's not going to let me sit below 10th after the start we had. So we got to get above 10th. I think it's down to Langstaff being back. His very presence in the team has lifted everyone. I think it's all down to Langstaff. What a player. You say goal, Andy, like you're really surprised. I mean, we did score a goal in the last game, but the opposition unfortunately scored 4. But we did at least get 1. Chance. Let's score some goals. What a chance! It is 2-0. I said this in the last game, that we're going to be made to look, in the game against Sheffield United, we were made to look like complete buffoons. Now, suddenly, we look like Barcelona. This game, it's nuts. Cracking goal, though. That was a brilliant cross by Young. Caught everybody by surprise. Oh, you might notice, guys, I am drinking my tea from my Let's Kick Some Balls mug. I do believe that there is an offer on at the moment, and that postage is free at the moment. I don't know. But if you fancy getting a Let's Kick Some Balls mug, then the shop is open, I believe. Tea doesn't taste any different, I can assure you. Tea just tastes like tea. But what have we got here? Oh, are they going to get back into the game? I'm just going to close down the left-hand side now. Stop him wandering too far up the pitch. Who is that? That's Young, Caden Young. He has to have a spell in the reserves, maybe. Committing too many fouls. Well, you told me to get stuck in, so maybe you ought to admit I was wrong instead of blaming me. Van Hooydonk's father is actually my team's club leader. Oh, right, that's cool. Which team is it? Which team are you playing with? Second half syndrome has already started. God, I hate second half syndrome. Match momentum has been all with us. And then it just suddenly, like it flicks a switch, the match momentum changes. There we go. It's been all Notts County. And then suddenly the last 5 minutes of the half is the opposition. It's like a switch. Yeah, there it is. All Notts County prior to that, and then we've just got to keep defending well. That's why I put the wing back on support. Might even put him on defend in a minute. So I desperately need to get these points. We've moved back up to 8th. And like I said, if we can get just some points from this episode, all will be well. If we can win against a team who are in the bottom, that would be even better. This is a rare event you guys are watching at the moment. We do not win against teams who are at the bottom. Let's bring on Fernandez. Yeah, he wants to play an attack. Let's see what he can do. Let's let him go, see what he can do. Goalkeeper's even having a good game today. I told you we'd look like Barcelona. He's messed about now with my bench again. I don't have. So I'm not going to change them. I have to change Caden Young because he's rubbish. Langstaff. Jody Jones on for Langstaff. Fenerbahce. Oh, okay. The transfers were not done by me. I offered the game out to people in the chat to do the transfer window. The transfer window was put together by Ben, So he signed Van Hooijdonk, which I think was a very good signing, because fair play's had a good season. And now Van Hooijdonk, my set piece coach, what is he doing? He's put together two extremely good set pieces. Or it's one, really, because it's the same thing that Van Hooijdonk did. So maybe the fact that he's got an 8 rating for his attribute on set pieces, maybe that is about he's not imaginative and he's only got one routine he knows. Because that was exactly the same as the last one. No, my assistant manager, never ever let your assistant manager do your bench, and I keep falling into that trap. So McAllister, this young boy, Comuso, is going to have to play now, because my only other option is Tom Pett. And Aaron Collins can come on for Casey Palmer. But I think 17 minutes left. Comuso can come on. That's why I brought him in from the reserves. Let's try him out. So having lost the last game heavily, we've now beaten the next opponent heavily. Bowden, who's feeling a little under the weather. He's a bit tired, and it's 4-0. This game is nuts. It's nuts. How would a team who's just been thrashed 4-1 3 days ago respond like this? And I'm not even attacking. It's just in a defensive shape. I mean, we've been the better team, but simply because Stoke have not got their shots on target. We haven't had the possession, which we normally do. And our XG is only 1.27, so we've absolutely hammered our XG. Are we going to make it 5? That'll be like... No. Yes, it is. Van Hooijdonk has made it 5. Why can't they play like this every week, Andy? It's like... Oh, boy. If they could play like this every week, we'd be fine. Why can't they fill their stadium? It is quite full over here. It's not very full in the away end. So we've beaten Stoke by 5-0. Need to berate them. Yeah, you were not good enough. It should have been 10. A win, let's change it up. A win and a good performance. For a change. Back to 8th. Can we still get into the playoffs? We are 6 points behind the playoffs. I doubt it. I think we're going to be there or thereabout. I said that last time. Fernandez makes his not counted. But also, yeah, Comuso made his debut as well. Didn't do too bad. Van Hooijdonk, but that does mean that in his next game, he's going to play like he's never seen a football before. It's all very well, him doing well in that game, but doesn't bode well for the next game. Who is the next game against? Birmingham. Let's rest the players as well. Playing against Birmingham. Oh, boy. I need this season out of the way. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do next season because we're not going to get any money. Do you think these boys are going to go for that? Important player to fringe player? He's never going to go for that. And in fact, he's probably is one of my most important players. They're quite strong. Strong, aggressive team. But they're not particularly pacey. They don't have good dribblers. We don't want to get stuck in. Well, the first question I have for you, question mark, is what is weird? And the game is very weird this year. We were talking about this in the podcast. I think the game is the weirdest it's ever been. It always is a little bit weird, but this year it's the weirdest I've ever come across a game. My job, I was an academic director. I worked abroad in Indonesia and Vietnam. I was an academic director for a group of language centres. And then eventually I worked for the governments of those nations, of those countries. I was in Indonesia putting together syllabuses for extracurricular work. Had a team of doing that with me. Yeah, I'm a busy boy, but living the dream. I really enjoyed it when I was out there. So Kavanagh, Collins for Langstaff. I don't think I want to actually change Langstaff at this point in time. He didn't have the greatest of games, did he? But his form is not that bad. I think we should keep Langstaff in. Who was the other one he wanted? Kavanagh. He doesn't like Boat. Boat played very well. No, I'm not dropping Boat. And I'm not dropping Langstaff. I'm keeping them in. As a spy for the Pentagon. That probably Andy is a job I would never take. Don't start me on politics. Oh my God. But no, that is a job I would never take. Probably a spy for Vietnam. So yeah, I lived abroad. I'm not quite sure what to call you. Question mark. I lived abroad for 15 years and had a great time. Absolute great time. Unfortunately, though, I developed the heart problem and then couldn't get a work permit, and it all came crashing down. That's why I decided to start this YouTube channel. What is your job, Andy? What do you do? It's always I've always wanted to ask. I've never found out what you actually do. Hey user, how are you doing? Where are we now? Back to 10th. Birmingham in 9th. Do I let him have his way? Probably a good idea. Lower line of engagement, no. No, I'm going to stay with what I wanted to do. You're working at a dementia care home. I'll probably be one of your clients very soon, Andy. A vacuum repairman? Are you really? Really a vacuum repairman? An interesting job. So Langstaff is actually, his form is quite good. Boat was on a downer, but he's gone back up again. I think we just leave it as we were. Just don't do anything. The game's going to do what the game's going to do. It's in very weird mood, the game, and I'll just do as I'm told. I would expect a team that won last time out by 5-0 to do quite well in this game, to play quite well. Probably not going to happen. We're probably going to lose this one by 3-0. And that is never a good start when somebody loops a header like that right at the beginning. That is never a good start to the game. Because this will probably go in. Oof, that wasn't far off. So I have a funny feeling this is not going our way. Just by what I've seen so far in the highlights. I might be wrong. I might be just paranoid at the moment. I just hope I've got this right with Boat and Langstaff. My assistant does not want them playing. But it's about time we gave Langstaff a run out. But he's not playing up front. He's not good enough to be up front. Can play on the left wing though. Go on, Bowden. Chance? Chance? We've got to stop doing that, boys. Stop doing that. Look for a pass. Do I need to get them more disciplined? I mean, Calabresi has already been told shoot less often. And if he's not doing it, it means he's not disciplined. So shall I just tell them all to be disciplined? Follow instructions. Let's go and have a look at his instructions. No, he's not told to shoot less often. Matt Penny should be told the same. Shoot less often. Oh, come on, FM. Come on, FM. Are you going to make our team look like idiots again after we won 5-0 in the last game? Are you going to make us look like monkeys again? Where are we now? 10th still. Mid-table's good. I keep telling myself mid-table is good. Tempo is slow. When we play with too high a tempo, we give the ball away all the time. So we've had to do it this way with a slow tempo. Just to keep the ball. I'm thinking of going narrow in this game. Just to help us keep the ball. See, it has to be narrow. Passes are not connecting. And this is like, how can we win like 5-0 in the last game and appear like monkeys in the next game? This is the weirdest FM I have ever seen. It's the weirdest FM I've ever seen. Yeah, we don't need to see that. We'll berate them. I quite like doing that. It doesn't do anything for the game, but it makes me feel better. We just, like, it's so equal. We just haven't, like, Van Hooijdonk 6.5 again after he was like the best player in the world in the last game. He's now back to his normal self. Casey Palmer 6.3. It's all up front. 6.5 for Langstaff. Everything is up front. I will try. Let's try. I'm willing to try things. Let's up the tempo. Because at the moment we're losing, so it doesn't matter. We're losing at the moment. Let's up the tempo. Let's try something. I've gone past the point of caring. And no, I don't want to do any of that. We will definitely lose if I do that. Let's just up it a little bit. Be more disciplined, because I actually want them to move the ball into the box. And let's go positive. Let's try being a bit more positive. And these guys are... They've got 10 minutes. If they don't do it in the next 10 minutes, they're off. What, user? Are you in the right chat there? Right. Oh, this is their last chance. If you don't score here, you're off the pitch. You're probably off the pitch anyway, even if we do score. Oh, we have got back into the game. So it's Langstaff who needs to come off, and Van Hooijdonk. See, like, how can he play really badly after he was like world class? I did call it. I told you he'd probably play really badly. Have I got Collins on the bench? Yeah, I do. That took a wicked deflection. Time to make some changes. Those numbskulls. It's a quote from a Siri. A Siri. Okay. I'm not familiar with it in the football world. Lisgang, 6.6. How Boat 6.6, Sibuk 6.6, everybody's 6.6. Langstaff is 6.4. So we will bring Jody Jones on here, and then Collins can come in here. They can't do any worse. Calabresi is disgraceful. Have to change him. Oh, that's brilliant. He hasn't put... that's brilliant. The two midfielders, McAllister. Let's put... I've got to sort this bench out next time. And let's tell... I don't want him tackling harder now. Hi, Inky Mug. I have almost got to the... This is... Inky Mug, this is... I don't know how we're doing so well. We shouldn't be doing so well. We're only in 10th, but we should be in 23rd according to the pundits. I actually don't know why we're doing so well. I can't push the line up any higher, so we'll just let this go. 1-1 against Birmingham. Now I'm not too happy. But if we can get a goal here, that'll be good. I just think this is the weirdest FM I've come across. We shouldn't be in the position that we're in. We shouldn't, have got promoted from League 2, but we won the title. We definitely should have not got promoted from League 1, and we won the title. And we definitely shouldn't be 10th in the championship. So it is the weirdest one I've come across in a long time. And again, we've been the better team. We haven't won. And that's because Langstaff and Van Donkey were dreadful today. That's it, 1-1. So we're still in 10th. Terrible. I just don't know what to say to them. I want to say that you're rubbish and I want to resign if you play as badly as this all the time. But they just are very poor. We've kind of recovered this episode. We've got Coventry again. I think they're a team down the bottom, aren't they? No, they're actually above us now, are they? Where are Coventry? Oh, yeah, they are down the bottom. So I suspect that's another defeat. But doesn't matter. One of the things that I don't want to happen is because this team has no money, because it never gives us any money, and we have been in this position. Can I get rid of that, I wonder? We have been in this position so 162 with 13k, and this has been exactly how it has been ever since the save started, and they never give us any money. I think we get 1 million, And if we're going to go into another season in the Championship with 1 million, what is the point? We are never getting out of the Championship. And I don't know what to do at the end of the season. I really don't know what to do. Because if we don't get promoted this season through the playoffs, we will never get out of the Championship. We'll be continually getting in 5 loans every season. We'll never be improving the squad. It will be just like the slowest process that could take 10 years before you get out of the mighty Nap Hill. Now that is a thought, Andy. That is a thought. I mean, at least we'd have a chance of doing something. If we don't actually get promoted here, as I said, we ain't getting promoted ever. Because without a transfer budget, we're just going to be bringing in loans all the time. And they haven't got any money, in all fairness. They're like 9,000 in debt. Although it's above the line, they're still 9,000 in debt. Projection is dreadful. Projected to be 9.34 million in debt by the end of the 28 season. They're never going to have any transfer budget they can give me. Now, if they got promoted to the Prem, they can't go and give me $1 million. There's no way they can give me $1 million. They have to think about it. We're going to have all this television revenue and all the rest of the money coming in. So they're going to give you 30 million. You'll normally get 30 to 35 million to play with. If it doesn't happen this year, it isn't going to happen ever. And we're just going to be in this stuck with new loans coming in season upon season. And that's not fulfilling. It's real. It's reality, but it's not fulfilling. We do need to sort this bench out because although I don't have... Yeah, it's Corness, isn't it, that he's not putting on the bench. It's like the game is trying to trip you up all the time. Don't do that. Just like do your stuff and leave my stuff to me. You don't have to trip me up. So McAllister can now come on the bench for Tom Pett. He needs to go. He hasn't played. I tried to sell him as well, but because he hasn't played for about 1.5 years. He's just sat in the squad. There's not much point in him doing that. Let's play Fernandez off the bat this time. And we'll bring in Kane Wilson. Anyone up front? Yeah, Collins. Piet Harris is still not fit. So we have to play Palmer in here. Can I play Palmer? There's a shadow striker in there. Possibly. Caden Young. He's a winger. So we've rotated the team a little bit. Maybe that will help. Evening Blob in the game against Coventry, against a lower opposition. All we can do is rotate a little bit. Keep doing what we're doing. I'm a bit annoyed. The game won't let me have a team meeting. I'd like to raise morale with them a little bit, but I don't know why it's making this rule up that I'm not allowed to speak to my team. Yeah, where have you been, Blob? We've, it was one video. It was the video on the new tactic that we've put together for this year that blew everything up, which is this tactic with the counter press and counter off. And it was this tactic that when I put that up, everybody well, it just blew the channel up. It was quite amazing. Shall I try his... He wants to play a lower line of engagement. Shall I try that at some point? I do like to listen to my assistant manager sometimes. Sometimes when you're confused and when you don't know what you're doing and you're hurting, just listen to him. And I'm a firm believer that if you just relax, stay calm, and then just do what the assistant manager wants you to do, then you can actually rescue what's going on. If you're just hurting and in pain, then you just keep doing what you want to do, then you can actually just cause yourselves problems. So I'm a big believer in listening to the assistant manager. He does make some good calls sometimes. So we've changed a few players. Let's see how we get on here. We brought in back Kavanagh. We've dropped Langstaff. His goal was just like a fluke, a one-off. He couldn't do it again. Bless him. Although Van Hooijdonk needs to get his act together as well. I wonder if they'll play like geniuses in this game now. That's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign. If that had gone in, we were going to win this game. But we've now had 4 shots and only 1 on target. We're not winning the possession battle again. Yes, we are. Not what I want. 9th. 8 points behind the team in the playoffs. How many games left? 12 games left. Not what I want. But Coventry have not had a chance. We have not put our chances on target. Other than that, complete domination. Look at Van Hooijdonk again. I just like... He's Langstaff all over again. Oh, you are kidding me, FM. They haven't had a chance. Oh, this is so fun. They have not had a single chance. I'm not looking at this again. It's just like beyond a joke. 1 highlight, 1 goal. How many highlights have we had? About 4 no goals. Van Hooijdonk 6.3. Palmer 6.4. It's up front again. I just got to accept we can't score goals. Just got to accept that we cannot score goals. End of story. Now we've got another injury. Fantastic, isn't it? I love this game. Goalkeeper again. It's the goalkeeper. Get off then. I've had enough. Fernandez. Get off. Would you ever think of doing the Pentagon challenge? Yeah, I do the Pentagon blob in the Journeyman. It's not a full Pentagon. I only have to win 3 Champions Leagues before I can go to Europe. That's the rules. I've won 2 Champions Leagues already, and now we're in Brazil. So I mean, but that's easy. In Asia and South Africa was really easy, and this is driving me insane. And now we're going to be what, 12th? This is just driving me absolutely insane. I mean, I don't know why. There's no reason for it. Why have we suddenly become such a bad team when we were doing so well? We're beating them easy. This is insane. This actually, I'm growing to actually despise the game. This is insane. The game does not make any sense anymore. Does not make any sense to me. Let's go attacking. Why not? We've got all the games, so we don't have to fear going attacking. But they'll score again. We do have to fear it. They'll score again. Because we can't play attacking football. We know that. Look at these ratings. Even the subs are bad. Oh, I wish... I'm going to just click the instant result button because this is painful. I cannot... I'm changing things and I cannot influence. I've just given the game to... So let's push the lines right up then. Let's get in their face. Let's get stuck in. Let's counter press. Let's go for it. Let's go more direct. I have no effect on the game, so I've got to stop doing this. I know I don't have any effect on the game. I'm not happy. Why is my assistant saying I'm really proud of your efforts? I'm not. I'm gonna go to the press conference and I'm gonna say this is the worst game I've ever come across in the add additional comments. It is. They have ruined my FM. They've ruined it. It no longer makes any sense. And people are talking about FM25 being good. This is the base that they're working FM25 off. And this does not fill me with absolute joy. Tomorrow there'll be an episode... there'll be an episode in the Brazil... starting tomorrow. I mean, that's been too easy. The Pentagon challenge, a lot of people say it's hard. It's not. It's easy. Just start off with the Asia, do South Africa, and then go to either North America or South America. These are easy parts of the world to win in. All you've got to do is put together a good team. And in South Africa, as you know, it was really hard for me to lose. I couldn't lose games. I wasn't even paying attention, just doing what the assistant said as I was playing through each game. Just doing what the assistant said. Click, 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 and then playing the game. And I wasn't even watching it. I was just going and hoovering or doing something, coming back, and we were winning 4-2. It was just too easy. And now we're down to 11th. No, there's no playoffs. We're 12 points out of it now. We're out of it. So let's get through this now. If we'd won 3 games, we would have been challenging for playoffs. But with we can't beat teams 17, 16 and 19. So that's done us in. We can only beat the top 5. So let's get through these, get to the end of the season and make a decision on what to do. Because I really don't want to be... I'm just going to go with what you said. I want to get through the season. I really don't want to be in this mid-table team forever. Although it's realistic. Oh, we got 2 injuries, have we? Can I actually put a team together now? Probably a team, but the bench, no. Not going to make it, not going to make it. So Langstaff has to play on the wing. Casey Palmer. Piet Harris is available, so he can come in. Collins is injured as well, is he? Oh my good lord. That's all I can do. Why is he not? See, you've got to keep an eye on him. He's not putting defenders on the bench again. Collins is injured. Like, why does the game do that? That is nonsense. If you leave the team to your assistant manager, why does it leave positions off? That is not playing the game fairly. That is setting you up for a fall, because immediately you don't have a left back on the bench. This guy either gets injured or he gets a 6.1 within 30 minutes. You haven't got anyone to replace him. That, for me, is the game cheating. And there's no right back on the bench here. Although we do have Kane Williams. But we didn't have a left back on the bench. And that's the game setting you up. This is not a simulation. This is a puzzle. And it's just here to do hard things and to frustrate you and to make your life miserable. Because there is no AI in this game. People think there is AI in the game. There is no AI in the game. All that happens is the AI is basically, most managers have two tactics and they can switch between those two if they're winning or losing. And they can't do anything else. People think that the game learns your tactic. This game can't learn. If it could learn your tactic, it's like, why does it take 3 seasons to learn your tactic? It's a computer. It should do it quicker than 3 seasons. So there's no AI here. Let's do it. Whatever you want. We're just getting through this now. I'm going to bring the line back. We're just going through. No, we don't want that. Whatever. So I don't know. What do you want to? Yeah, Europe is going to be the hardest bit. South America is not going to be easy. I think South America will be a little harder than the other 2 that I've done, which will be good because I'm really getting annoyed with the game in the main save because that is too easy. It's just letting me win, and even if I try to lose, it won't let me lose. But now I've got out of those 2 areas and we've gone into Brazil. Hopefully it'll get a little bit more difficult. But if it's going to do this now and make it impossible, then, I mean, we're going to lose this game as well. I already know that now from the header. From the quality of that header, we are going to lose the game. So we know that now already. So relax, boys. Just accept the defeat. And the highlight will tell me if we're going to win or lose. Although, if they are going to play us that badly, I still think we're going to lose. The initial highlight will tell me. And those looped headers mean that you're not going to play well. So I'll be very, very surprised getting anything out of this game. Europe is obviously the challenge. And you've got to be in a club. You can't be... It's choosing your club, because you can't be in a club that doesn't have money. There you go. So when you're doing that kind of challenge, like every time I've picked a club, like the one pick club that became available in Brazil, although they're in the 2nd division, they're on the way up. And they're also for that standard, they're also quite a rich club. So they're going to have money for when I need money. And we're going to probably get into the Prem, I would imagine, in Brazil, and then you go from there. So I'm hoping within 4 seasons we win the Champions League or whatever its equivalent is in Brazil, and then we can move to Europe. The thing with the challenge that I'm doing is I only did 4 of the 5 because I have to do it before 20 years is up. So I only have 20 years to do it. And whatever happens at the end of 20 years is when I retire. So in that respect, it does make it a little bit more difficult, even though I have 1 less. Let's see how stupid this game is, that we're still in 9th when we can't win a football match and we're still in 9th. And this is something they have to address, this about realism. It's not real. There's no realism to it anymore. And we did talk about this in the podcast, and it's kind of sad because FM22 was one of the best games that I've ever played. 23 started going downhill, and 24 now. Oh my good lord. The best challenge, though, that I've ever done, I think, was the Ferguson save that I did last year. That was really good, and it was good because I moved it forward 15 years. To get rid of the current players, and having moved it forward, you've got rid of all the current players, and then you play with who you have. .4 Caton Young. Oh my good lord. Yeah, I mean, that was the Lewis Wilden save. He scored 300 goals in that save. That was just like, he was an amazing player. The Lewis Wilden save. Langstaff can come on for a game. Why not? They haven't had second half syndrome, which is kind of interesting. I expect them to score because they've got 100% shots on target. We should not be winning this game because we only have like 40%. They have 100%. So we shouldn't be winning this. Which is making this game very strange. I don't understand it. I used to get excited when I win, but that's Langstaff again. I suppose it is Hull. They are a team we should be beating. They're not a bottom 4 team, which probably explains why we're beating them. But it just keeps doing this. 10 points is... We're not... No, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Have I got any more subs I can make? Yeah. Van Hooijdonk is going to be the next one now. He's going to, like we're going to have, he needs a rest. So we're either beating teams comfortably or we're losing, we're getting annihilated. When we actually should be winning. We're not actually being annihilated. We should be winning these games. We're the better team, according to the stats. And I think that's what annoys me most about the game, is that It's not reflecting the better team. Yeah, of course it is, Andy. It's not going to happen. We're 10 points behind. There's no way it can happen. Remember when we were 8 points behind Stockport and we managed to win in the end? Win the title in the end? 8 points is one thing, 10 points, that's not going to happen. There's only 10 games left, I think. 10 points behind, 10 games to go. We'd have to go on the most monumental run. We'd have to probably not lose a game from here on in. To claw that 10 points back means we have to win 4 games and they lose 4 games. So it's just not going to happen. It's way too far. There's only 11 games left. 10 points, it just can't be done. They're not going to lose. I sometimes think that maybe I shouldn't rest them. I should just go out and play them tired. Because the opposition, that's what they do. They just play their teams tired. They clearly don't rest them, but it doesn't make any difference. It makes no difference at all if they can barely walk. So maybe I sometimes think, maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Don't rest your players. Caden Young, I believe he's no longer concerned about playing him in his preferred position. We've already been through this. He's already done this. So stop it. We'll probably have the manager coming back in a minute and saying, "Oi, why aren't you playing him in his preferred position as a right winger?" Probably, because that's come up again. Reading, we always lose to Reading. Yeah, we'll play the same team. I'll go along with that. Let's just go through this season. Yeah, I think you're right, Andy. I think the game is going to now take me on this journey of despair towards the playoffs. Probably will give me a few wins coming up. Let's just check the bench that he hasn't messed the bench up again. Gibbons, Wilson. See, he's messed up the bench again, and like, don't do that. Why does he need to... Why does the game need to change my bench? I'm not asking it to do it. Why does it automatically change my bench? I have not asked the assistant to do anything in terms of team selection, and yet the game has still messed about with my bench. Corness. I want Corness to play, actually. Let's put Corness in there. Collins, Lacey, Langstaff, Gibbons. That'll do. And do not mess with my bench again. See, I can't do that now. I can't click that now because it won't just change one. It will change them all, including the bench. I'm quite prepared to do that. He wanted Collins for Jody Jones. Well, we'll try that. Let's see. Can we get another win? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd rather actually be in 20th, I think, struggling against relegation than going through this nonsense. Because we should be in 20th. And the game is making me think that we are a good team when we're not. I mean, we're certainly not going to get... was not going to get relegated, that's for sure. But it looks like Reading are going to beat us. Yep, there it is. Oh. So if we lose this one, we are definitely not playoff stuff, because we'll have way too much to make up. Well, we have to do something here because this is not working. Pull the line back a little bit then. We'll go positive as well. Now that one was postponed. That was disallowed, was it? Postponed. We're under the cosh here a lot. Wonder if pulling the line back has actually changed the game for a change. Just that one silly little thing. He's got to be offside, hasn't he? He's got to be offside. Just all I did was pull the line back. It's changed the game completely. Oh boy. One tiny little thing and suddenly we look like we're going to win this easy. I still think we got away with one there. I still think he was offside. Ah, boy. Is it starting? I think you're right, Andy. I think it is actually starting the tease already. And maybe Collins was not a good idea to bring in. I did listen to the assistant, and that was weak. That was tame. Maybe I should have left Jody Jones on there, or even Langstaff. Maybe that's my error. Because that was awful. Time to bring in the men. Could be. I've got these boys sitting on the bench. Oh, Van Hooydonk. Tom Pett may well turn out to be the hero. He's not played for a year. I think if set pieces is dangerous, that's the only way we're going to score, so why not? 6.5 for Collins, yeah, you could see by what he was doing. 6.5 for Kavanagh, 6.4 for Sibuk. If all the defence are playing badly, then it's usually to do with the lines. Hi, Jerry. keep going. Collins, you need to do better. 2 central defenders need to do better. Why suddenly are they playing really bad? Overall, Jerry, extremely well. Recently, it's tear your hair out time. But overall, we really can't complain about this save. Now, somebody, get your foot on the ball. This is not good enough. Yeah, this is tear your hair out time. Right, time to get some of these idiots off the pitch. I can't take both central defenders. It's not the lines this time. They're playing badly just because they're playing badly. I can't take both of them off. I don't have 2 central defenders to... 6.3 for Collins. Look at this. Do I have another person who can come on and play? No. 6.2 for Kavanagh. I'm going to bring Fernandez on for Kavanagh. He's a fullback, but he can't do any worse. And I've got to change the whole of the defence. Oh, whatever. Where are we going to be now? Still in 9th. This is why this is ridiculous. We're now not winning any games. Well, thank you, Jerry. That's very kind of you. This really is... This particular save is a bit of nonsense. I think the game is screwed up. I think FM24 is seriously flawed. And at the moment, this is just pure nonsense. We're either winning 5-0 or losing 4-1. It's pure nonsense. I really am convinced, and I did say this in the podcast with Ben, the game is broken. It's really in a mess. They've got to change this coding. And I've watched this game for thousands of hours, and it really is broken. And you can actually tell when they're going to score, and you can tell from the first highlight whether you're going to win or lose. I really think the game is totally screwed. And I don't think it really matters what you do. Let's put him up there. Let's go attacking. Why not? Let's get everybody in attacking positions. Now he can stay on support, but Bowden can go as a centre mid on attack. Why not? You've got nothing to lose, have you? Might as well lose 7-1 as 3-1. I mean, right at the start of this season, we were not conceding any goals. Now we are conceding thousands of goals. The 2 central defenders that we had were world class. for the first part of the season. Now, I really can't play them. I'm thinking of dropping the pair of them and bringing in Mahovo, the 19-year-old. He can't do any worse. Can't play them if they're playing that bad. So we'll just get rid of them. Fernandez, who's... See how screwed up this is? Fernandez is a left back. He can't play as a centre back. But he's got a 7 rating playing as a centre back. This game is screwed up. He cannot play. He does not have any inclination or knowledge of playing as a centre back. And yet he's got a 7.1 now. Where my 2 main centre backs were on 6.2 each. Go figure. So we have to drop those centre backs. The game, people who play the game will say, it's because they're tired, you're not rotating them. I am rotating them. They do get rotated because we have 3 of them. So it's not that, which they will accuse me of. It's just simply that that's what the game has deemed is going to happen. And we are still in 9th after this absolute nightmare. This is a nightmare and it's keeping me in 9th. Why? I should be in the relegation zone. So everybody around me is losing as well. The game is nonsense. We'll keep going, though. We'll keep going. I feel like resigning, but we'll keep going. Ipswich, and then I think... No, we could get 2 done at this rate. And all I have to do is switch it off and come back and we'll win again. It's odd how that happens. I have all my wins at the start of an episode and defeats at the end of an episode. This game can also count. It's really interesting. I really think it's broken. Or maybe it's just this save that's broken. I don't know. So, I'm not changing. We changed the formation last time and it cost big time. So I'm not doing that again. So we're going to play now just simply as we play. Not changing the lines for anybody. Not doing... Who changed that again? I don't want that happening. That's maybe why I've been losing. Because the assistant or whoever is changing things. He keeps changing my bench. That, I do not want it. That's why we're not... This game's out of control. Stop it. If I want you to change something, I'll ask for it. And let me have a team meeting while you're at it. Shall I try again? Team meeting. Yeah, I can have one now. Good. I want to get morale up and telling them that they're playing rubbish. And let's get morale up. And I'm not going to use this button because you change everything and you'll change my tactic. So I'm going to drop both centre halves. And Mahovo can play now. I can't believe that that boy came on as Fernandez. He can't play. Oh, I suppose you could say he could play as a central defender. Maybe that's where I should play him. Play him as a central defender. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now, we'll play Mahovo. I don't think it matters what I do. We'll play Fernandez. And these 2 can have a rest. McAllister. And Fitzgerald. Just rest a lot of them. Langstaff can come up here. Collins can come in here. Right, that'll do. I don't think it matters what I do. I could just like do anything I like and it doesn't matter. Probably find that now that I've rotated that much that we'll win with a team that doesn't make any sense. With two really bad central defenders. This will be really interesting. We'll see, because if the game is broken, we'll win this. If it's not broken, then we won't win this. Because I've got two central defenders who really don't know what they're doing. And I've dropped the first team, basically. So we'll see what happens. I have faith in you. I keep lying to them, don't I? I keep lying to them. I don't have any faith in them at all. There isn't a button, though, that says I don't believe that you are capable of doing anything properly. So I have to go with what statements are available. If the game had AI, I would be able to put in my own comments and the game would learn from the comments that I make. It just shows it doesn't have AI because I can't do that. I cannot put my own comments in there and the game will not learn from them. So people think it's sophisticated, this game. It's not. It's nowhere near sophisticated. The coding that they're using is about 10 years old, I believe, since they did any changes on the coding. And in terms of computer games, that's like an antique. So the game is not intelligent. It just introduces levels of difficulty. That's all it does. Just like old computer games used to. You used to go through level 1, which was easy, then you'd go to level 2, which was slightly more difficult, then level 3, and that's what this game does. That's why you always do well in your first season. Oh, we're giving away a penalty again. You always do well in your first season because level 1 is easy. Oh, well, let's give away a penalty. Oh, why not? I'd actually be happier going down to 20th place. And then I can resign at the end of the season knowing that this team can't do any better. I don't need to see that again. Because the game is not letting me do anything at the moment. And that's fine. That's fine. It's Boat who is the important player at the back. He's having a worse game than the 19-year-old. Again, though, the game is very even. We just can't get a shot on target, and it's up front again. The switch is like a switch that switches you off. My save for the Greek team. I've won 4 Greek championship. Yeah, who was that? That was a bit of a goal. What you find is that there are levels of difficulty, and the European leagues. They're like the 4 main leagues: Spain, France, and England, and who's the other one? They are the most difficult to maneuver. 3 of them are only difficult because it's almost impossible to take the top 2 teams in that league out. The other leagues then in Europe are tiered. They're not so difficult. And that's why. And then you get down to teams who are in Got down to teams who are in Asia and Africa, and they are extremely easy. What is he doing? Langstaff just fell over. So everything is tiered in terms of level of difficulty. The coding is very old. It's not been changed. In fact, we're still working off that original code. It will change in FM25, but this is the basis of it, which doesn't bode very well. The coding will change in FM25. Unity are going to code it differently. Ipswich are just about as bad as us. They're better. So everything is on a level of difficulty, but the game is not working properly in FM24. Boat has just rescued himself from being substituted. So what's happening, what should be happening is that you should have some element of control over what's going on. But I've totally rotated this team. I've put a very weak team out here today, and especially defensively. I said I'm dropping both those central defenders, and these boys are playing extremely well now. The game is not working properly. That was just a puzzle. It's just a puzzle. Can you solve it? And it looks like we solved it. Drop both central defenders. That is not a simulation. That's a puzzle. And you can see we're playing our least capable central defender, who is actually just a left back. And he's just 19 years old. And again, up front, we are very poor. Where's Collins? Oh, Collins is injured, is he? So I don't have a striker on the bench. Maybe what I'll do is push Langstaff up there, because Van Hooijdonk is exhausted. Caden Young is exhausted. And he's supposed to be a good player, but isn't. And then, yeah, Bowden can come on in there. So the game has set me a puzzle. To win the next game, I had to work something out. What I did, drop both central defenders, and suddenly we are winning the game again. Bonkers. And I don't quite know how we've managed to get this back to 7 points. It's because Blackpool haven't played, is it? But we haven't won this yet. I still don't fancy our chances. What's the goalkeeper? He's on a 6.6. So he's not playing extremely well either. Lacey's just come on. He's on a 6.6. He's only been on for 5 minutes and he's lost one. Let's demand more. Here it is. This is the goal. How do I know this? How do I know? It's so obvious. It's like you know the build-up. You could see it. And I knew as soon as he did this, I knew there's the goal. That's it. As soon as the ball was in the air, I knew. This is crazy. Back to... we're still in 9th. This is ridiculous. How can we still be in 9th? It's like the table has stood still. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh boy. Well, the central defenders are still playing better than the other defenders were. Now Langstaff is extremely tired. I don't have a striker on the bench now. And he's not playing very well either. Oh, let's put Piet Harris up front. Let's go for it. He's only on for a few minutes. Let's go to defensive. Okay, I give up. So we're still in ninth, and we've somehow closed the gap to 7 points over Blackpool. But it will depend on how Blackpool get on. I'm going to play one more simply because I want to get through this season as fast as I can. Because when you're not enjoying something, you just want to get through it. Jerry, that has been a question since eternity. Since the game came out, is it scripted or not? And people have debated whether or not it's scripted. The answer to the question is, of course it is. The better question to ask is, can the script be changed? And I did believe for a long, long time that in the course of playing the game, you could change the script. I'm not sure you can now. But you can certainly change the script before you go into a game, because there are so many opportunities that the game actually calculates what the next batch of results are going to be. So if we go to the league, now, there are games coming up. This is the next batch of games. The game is already calculating the results of those, and it will calculate your results based on your input into what goes on in the week. And I'm doing, at the moment, doing very little in terms, not focused on training. I'm not focused on anything really. Training this year is a joke. I've gone through how many seasons completely? 10 seasons all told in the game. On YouTube, and more when off camera, and I've never touched training, and yet in my saves I've won 16 trophies, and I've never touched training. So I said, like, don't do anything. It doesn't make any difference. Recruitment, I've never done anything in terms of recruitment. I let the assistants take care of the chief scout, take care of the assignments. Never do anything, simply because there's no point, because I don't have any money. These little bits the game will now use. Right, okay, so we're going to do these. The game will now use, because we've done a little bit of training, that'll throw something into the mix. In terms of the next results, it won't affect them much, hardly at all, but it will all add up. So everything I do this week could possibly change the result. Training here, that could possibly change the result, but probably none of that is going to make any difference. Tom Pett is surplus to my requirements. And no, we're not altering anybody else's playing time. And so as this week goes on, it is now calculating the result for that Blackpool game. And when we get to the Blackpool game, things like injuries will also have an effect. And we haven't had an injury so far. But we don't know about Blackpool, whether they've had injuries, what their training has been like. If you go to the training, you can see, and you really do a deep dive in this, you could pick your team from this, because these are the boys who want to play. The ones at the top are the ones who are training well. They're really into it. They want to play. So is ours better than Blackpool's? I don't know. The game knows, though. I don't have access to the Blackpool training, but the game does. So it will use that to predict the score. It has to be predicted, because when we get to that game week, if I go on holiday, there will be a score. We will get a score against Blackpool. So it has to be scripted. A better question to ask is, can I change the script? And I used to think, up till 22, I used to think you can change the script a lot. Now I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. The big question is now, having dropped those two, do I change back? And I suspect it might be a good plan, because they've maybe had a lesson taught to them. So I was just thinking that before I saw the team. So now the game is recalculating again. Based on my team selection, the game is recalculating. So if I go with the assistant, his team will get me one result, my team will get me another. So Jamie Bowden, Palmer and Collins. I don't have a problem with that. They're a good team. Palmer. I'm more inclined to play Jody Jones out there than Palmer. Casey Palmer can come in here. Collins never looks the ticket for me unless he's playing as the shadow striker. Collins never impresses me as a winger. So now as we're getting closer to the game, even this will have an effect. The fact that I don't go has an effect on the calculation of the score. Not much in that respect, but a little bit. If you go to the press conference, it can really make a big difference if you get the questions right, or it can make a big difference if you get all the questions wrong. And people say, how can there be a right or a wrong answer? Of course there is. That's how the game calculates the score. It's got like a point system for each answer that you give. So best to let the assistant deal with that. I don't want to be getting questions wrong. So basically what it's doing now, we're getting to the game and it's calculating. And right at this point in time, when we finally arrive here, we've picked our team and we've got to this point here. Now the game knows what the scores are for all those games. That's it. But it never used to be written in stone. What am I doing? It never used to be written in stone, because now I can change things. Everything I do here will have an effect. You tell them that they're rubbish. Yeah. So everything I do now will have an effect on it. So if I make some, these guys are going to sit back by the look of it. So if I make some player instructions, this will affect, it will now recalculate, and it will have an effect on the outcome. So we will just turn him onto his left foot. It might be for the better. Hey, what's going on here? Or it might be for the worse. So what I do here might be good, or it might be bad. And he's not the one. Andy Lyons is the one. So that would be a better question rather than is the game scripted. The better question would be, is it possible to change the script? Because it has to have a script. There has to be a script. Otherwise, there's nothing running it. Right, he's a good player, but he's not the best in the world, is he? Needs a hard tackle, though, and we'll tight mark him. Now, we'll close him down and hard tackle him. We won't hard tackle him, but we will tight mark him. And they also, like, your assistant will make bad calls. Like this one. He should not be being hard tackled. So he will make bad calls on your behalf. Kyle Joseph probably should be tight marked. I know him. We'll tight mark him. And this geezer, no, Shane Lavery is the wanderer. So he's making bad calls and they're trying to work out, will you spot these bad calls? So when you alter these things, so left foot, then the game is recalculating again. It might be good, it might be bad, you just don't know. And that's what it's saying about management, is that you make decisions which could be good or bad, and that's what it's actually saying about management. So who am I short of? Lacey has to be there. Actually, no, let's put in a main on the bench. Why not? Blackpool with maybe two pressing forwards. I've got a funny feeling that Lavery might be playing as a deep lying forward. Maybe. I know Lavery of old. I'm not sure we should be saying the pressure is all on them. There's only one place between us. But I don't feel very optimistic about getting a result from this. First highlight is always a good indicator of how the game is going to go. And that doesn't look good at all. Oh boy, it looks like we're going to be in for a nightmare ride in this game. First highlight always tells you key things. And this is really poor. So I think we can kiss this game goodbye. It's basically saying you have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, here we go. Actually making Blackpool look bad as well. At the moment, neither team look like they have any clue whatsoever. It looks like a battle of Vanarama teams. He's totally isolated out there, which is why he should not be dribbling. Has that gone in? No. Although the player went to retrieve the ball, he went into the net. So something funny went on there. I thought it went in. He should not be getting that close to him. They're getting way too close to them. He's okay. He's okay. I don't think it matters. It was a mistake bringing these two back in. I don't think it matters. I think they're making monkeys of us because we're pressing them too much. Yeah, whatever. They're absolutely making monkeys of us because we're running at them way too much. You could be right about the two pressing forwards. I just want this season to finish. And then we can move to something. I fancy doing something like Luton. Something quite difficult like Luton. But your idea actually is of Nap Hill, Andy, is a good idea. At least with Luton, you'd be hopefully getting correct results. And you'd be in a really good relegation battle. Whereas I don't know what this save is. Is it a relegation battle or what? And if we actually beat Blackpool here, then we will go within 7 points of them. You could be right, Andy. You could be absolutely spot on about it just playing for the playoffs. But if we lose to Blackpool, then we can forget the playoffs, of course. But I'm really concerned that the two central defenders again are having nightmares. So I should have just left the other two. They're playing badly already. Any team that sits back, well, they're the team that are sitting back. But although they're set up to sit back, they're not sitting back. It's this game, what I'm seeing doesn't make any sense. What I'm actually seeing doesn't make any sense. What I'm seeing, again, is that we are the better team. But Blackpool are getting most of the play. Well, it doesn't mean anything in FM terms. If they keep missing, that's a good sign for us. Normally, teams don't have this many highlights against you without scoring. So that's a good sign for us. It means that our highlights are more likely to go in than theirs. And again, that didn't represent that very well. But it's a good sign. But that's, again, passing is very poor. He's offside. Offside a mile. No, it's been given. Oh, well, if we lose to Blackpool, actually, that's good news. Look how many players are up the pitch. Maybe this is what I need to do. No, it's true, Andy. It's just totally switched off what I'm doing. I go through phases of this where I don't get penalties. I don't think I've had one for a long time. Yet the opposition are getting them regularly. This is why this game is broke. Oh, Jesus. I mean, we know we're poor at set pieces. I'm the assistant. If we keep up our impressive play, it's only a matter of time before we turn the scoreboard around. But this is good news. Now, I'm actually happy about this because any thoughts we had of getting into the playoffs now are gone. And now I can just relax because it can't happen. So this is good news. So, yeah, good news. And again, those two central defenders have completely left me down. So it was too early to bring back the other ones. I'm going to take them out again, just to prove a point. Two of them. Fernandez can come in the full back again. Calabresi's on a 6.2 as well. I really have no idea what the game is trying to prove. Absolutely no idea. Nemain can have a game. And Collins can come on up here. That's it. And so, yeah, this is a good thing, because it's absolutely impossible now to get into the playoffs. So I'm not unhappy about this. In fact, I'm so impressed with this, I'm going to go attacking to celebrate. What am I doing? To make sure that we lose. And then that definitely means that we can't get to the playoffs, because I don't want the game messing me about just because it feels like, oh, Nemain's got himself injured. He's been on the pitch for a minute and we got an injury. And that again is something that's really poor, because now I got no substitutions. And the minute you do that, the minute you use your 5 substitutions, you will get an injury. Unless, like, that's why I only use 4 until there's only about 10 minutes left, and then you use the last one, because you will get an injury. It's like, stop it. This game is broken. Let's go much higher. Let's go much more often. Up the tempo. Why not? Yeah, I agree with you, DA. And we're either getting really heavily beaten, or like 4-1, is it necessary? Is it really necessary? Or we're winning 5-0 or 3-0. Is it necessary? It's silly. It's absolutely silly. They've broken the game. Sorry, guys, but they've broken the game. Let's go very attacking. And that means, I mean, that's not bad anyway, because there's no way now that we can make it to the playoffs. We were the best defending team in the league. Oh, talking of that, Andy, we just got a penalty. We were the best defensive team in the league up until Christmas. And now we can't defend to save our lives. Interesting, Andy. I think you called that one right. But it is. I've been playing this game for so long now. You can see when something is broken. I want FM22 back. Give me FM22 back with the new graphics. And I think for FM25, before they mess it up completely, they need to go back to FM22 and look at FM22 and start with the coding that was in FM22, not with this. And I'm not interested in this at all. 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. What is that for? We've been absolutely hammered. FM, why are you doing this? What is it for? So I'm not buying into this at all. We're still going to lose. Yeah, absolutely. It's the game messing around. So there was even 6 minutes of time adding on. It's done nothing. So I'm not impressed. You want me to be impressed with that, FM? No, I'm not. Not at all. I'd be impressed if you were more realistic. But now that's good, because it is absolutely for certain we cannot reach the playoffs, which means I cannot keep going with this save at the end of the season, because I don't want to be in a situation of season after season, no money, and they're just like, I have to rely on loans, and we finish mid-table every season. If I was playing that, then I would leave the club, look for another club. The chances of getting Notts County into the Prem are remote, to say the least. I mean, this has been absolute nightmare of an episode, and yet we've gone up one place. Yet we have gone up one place in the table, and look at the results we've had. We've lost 4. We have won 3, but we've lost 4, and we've gone up one place. Look at this as a run of form, and we've dropped down 3 places with this run of form. Won 4, lost 8, and drawn 1, and we've dropped down only 3 places. Tell me that is realistic. It's not. And I hope to get this season done by maybe we can get it done at the next episode. Get it finished and then make a decision on what to do. But I know I like to be led by you guys in the chat, but I really don't feel like becoming a mid-table championship team forever with no money to spend. It just doesn't make any sense to me. They are never going to have any money. We are always going to be in this situation. And since we don't have any players who are worth any money, because all our players are loanees, I do like an optimist, Andy. It's impossible now. There's only 8 games to go, and we are 10 points behind. It's impossible. Unless the game decides we're going to win all our games from now on, which it might. In which case then everybody above will start winning all their games as well. I mean, to be fair, teams like Reading must have had an awful run of form. Yeah, they are just as bad as us. Their form is just as bad as ours. Let's have a look at Derby, who don't seem to be making up any ground. Yeah, look. All the teams around us are doing exactly the same. Let's even try Birmingham. Now, Birmingham went on a very good run, but they had their disaster here. So everybody is just doing the same thing. But I'm happy because I don't think we're going to make it to the playoffs now. I was worried. That is not, Andy, that is not going to take a team to the playoffs. That's relegation stuff. That's more likely. You look at that, you're going to think to yourself, I'm in a really bad relegation battle here. That's not playoff stuff. Right, that's it. Squad needs to be rested. Now, I know that the championship, they do have strange results, that they do have, like, you never see, like, teams winning all their games in the championship in real life. There's always strange results because they play so many games. But I'm not buying this at all. I'm not buying it at all. Look, oh, Ben would be pleased, Andy, with Sunderland sitting on the top there. Ben would be very pleased. Wonder where Ben is today. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to call it a day now. It is after 10, a long time after 10. It's not going very well. Overall, it has to be said, is probably one of the better saves I've ever done. But, yeah, possibly, Andy. Although, since we've been doing the podcast, he's stopped coming. I don't know why. Which is very strange. Maybe I should stop the podcast. Yeah, he stopped coming since we've been doing the podcast. Maybe he's busy on preparing his stuff. Yeah, I'm not actually having a good time with this, because I'm not feeling that the game is allowing me to play. The game's doing what it wants. Even in the first 2 seasons, it just did what it wanted. I mean, we were like 8 points behind Stockport, and suddenly, within a few games, we were 4 points ahead of them. It just didn't make any sense. What happened to Stockport? They just totally lost 8 games or so on the trot at the end of the season. Didn't make any sense. Maybe that's going to happen to Blackpool. Who knows? But 10 points, nah. So anyway, thanks for coming, guys. And sorry it's not more exciting. And it's probably going to get worse, because we have to play the team in 23rd next. And but I think we'll probably finish the season next time round, and then we will make a decision on what to do next. Because I really don't want to continue in the Championship like this. I could look for new jobs, I suppose, because better teams might get us to the Prem, but this team never will. So I will see you. Hopefully, we'll see you on bringing players from Sundowns. You're gonna have a surprise, I think. You're going to have a surprise in one of these episodes coming up soon. Because I've done something really devious. So, not probably tomorrow, but the episode after, you're going to have a bit of a surprise, I think. So, yep, that's it for this episode. I've got a video to make now with Sundowns. Not Sundowns now. With the new Brazilian outfit, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Thursday today, isn't it? I'll see you guys on Sunday, all being well. Thanks for getting me a penalty, Andy, and we'll see you on Sunday. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming.